So there guys, welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall. We are here in our base. We were talking to people. We did the DVDs, I remember doing that. We talked to Paul Amsel, did we? I think we did. What was the last thing that we remember? Oh my god. I'm gonna talk to him again. He said we had to do something, I'm sure we did. We need to transfer Alice's payment onto a cred stick. Okay, let's come back to that in a moment. Did we talk to Dietrich? What you need, boss? You fought in the Night of Rage. Let's get loads of information out of Dietrich. Dietrich, he nods, then fishes in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright, boss, we can talk about it. So I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces to fight off the racists, right? And after a long bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all of this. I'm an anarchist at heart, always have been, but at the time I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time, Messer Camp was still touring, not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride. Bunch of young kids, all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight, and so I led these kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot after the fight. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of the kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all of my attitude slick, but none of them had my magic, and youthful enthusiasm is no defence against a knife or a handgun. I left the punk scene for all the reasons I told you, boss, but there was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, this is where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. Have you put into thought into what I said earlier? What did we tell him earlier? I can't remember. Yeah, boss, I have. It's an interesting idea, but there are risks. I'm thinking this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember? If our discussion turned to an argument, he could take all that magic back in a heartbeat, and then where would we be? Yeah, when has he encouraged you to back down from a fight? You got a point there, boss. He wouldn't want me to back down, ever. Not even from him. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'll ask the Dragon Slayer about shifting priorities, I guess you'd say. Taking on some deserving organisation and calling off the hunt for something more impressive than the Firewing. Of course, a fight like that would never really end. I'm never going to bring down a core or a pub or a poly club all on my lonesome. He shrugs. But maybe that's not a bad thing. It'd take a lot of the guesswork out of life. I know, boss. If you have any thoughts about this, I'd love to hear them. Oh shit. We've already done some damage to Humanis, how about them? Say the group. I know, I mean, it's true, he has already got beef with Humanis. Let's go for that. Tempt him, but like I said, I've already kicked the holy hell out of him twice. Yeah, good point. If I'm going to do this, it needs to be a step forward. The Dragon Slayer won't be satisfied with me retreading all ground. Okay, what about Say the group? Well, that's certainly thinking big. Give me a second, I'll ask. What is he just going to ask? He closes his eyes and concentrates. Minutes pass. Slowly a smile creeps across his face. Dietrich opens his eyes and turns to face you. Yeah, I think he'd like this plan just fine. That was it? The Dragon Slayer doesn't mince words, boss. If he didn't like the plan, he'd have told me. Dietrich's grin widens. He looks more at ease than you've ever seen him. Well, boss, I've got myself a plan. And a new target to boot. Let's assume, of course, that any of us make it back through our current predicament alive. You know, Dietrich, now that you've got a handle on your connection with the Dragon Slayer, you can probably reach out to your old community again. Berlin's punks could benefit from your experience. He nods. Yeah, boss, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe I could give back a bit and fix some of the damage I caused in my misspent youth. After we've finished dealing with the crisis in front of us, that is. It's a good thought anyway, I'll keep it in mind. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss, he's adjusting. It's going to take some time. Any thoughts on the last run? You know, boss, living in Berlin, I never thought I'd get the chance to go up against a blood mage. Guess today was my lucky day. Pity we couldn't save any of those clones that the Azes were testing on, but it was probably kinder to let them die. Considering what the Azes did to them, they'd never been able to lead normal lives anyway. That's pretty much my thinking on it as well, actually. Okay, cool. Little bit of info dump from Dietrich. We already did Blitz, I think. Did we not? Man, I've had such a busy week, I can't remember what the hell we did last time. Did we do Blitz? Any thoughts on the last run? Oh, sorry, Chief. I never thought I'd set foot in an ass technology building. Looks different in meat space than it does in the Matrix, I'll say that much. Truth be told, Chief, I found the whole experience kind of nerve-wracking. I'm glad that we got out of there. I'm even glad that the building is a pile of smoldering rubble now. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Did we do Eiger? Did we do Eiger? Eiger glances up from her PJ at the sound of your approach. Slick, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried in a big way. Talk to me, Eiger. If anything's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a hollow pic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? Metal Gear. His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and woodwork. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Slick, and my contacts spotted him in Shadow Nest. That's a little bit too close to the cruise bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town he was softening up after the syndicate moved in. Slick, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town, it can't be allowed to happen again in Shadow Nest. Okay, agreed. Do you know who he's working for? The safest bet will be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Timanos. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important it is that we resolve the Verschwingy situation. I get it, but I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the cruise bazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. Alright, fearless leader. You're right, I could use the help, but the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. I'm sure you're prepared for this. If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Divine Keller. I've got a contact that's going to join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Sweet. Eiger's mission unlocked. Cha-ching. So Eiger's ready to go. Dietrich we're working on. Glory, we're going to have a quick chat with Glory. But it seems like the Eiger mission is good to go, so that's probably going to be the next thing on our list. I might even sack off this whole shit with the Eiger fund and just press on with Eiger's mission, because I want to get these side missions done, boys. I'm loving the side missions. Glory, here we go. Let's have a look what Glory's got to say for herself. Glory favours you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Hoy Slick, I've got to admit, I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if you were. I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I want to check in and see how you were doing. Not great, struggling, about how you'd expect. Okay, we left off in a bad place. I have a question. Yeah, what's that? You've escaped from a harrow, but you're still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting down would be a good place to start? Shouldn't we do something about the cult? Let's go for the harrow angle. She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes, I've been thinking about this for a long time, Slick, and every time that I've got in close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. That's the idea. Alright, if we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place, lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him, and all of this will have been for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think that we need to make a decision here, up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think that we can manage both. Yeah, Harrow, otherwise they'll just, you know, you've got to cut the head off the snake, haven't you? Alright, so there's so many cultists that we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Yeah, we've got to take Harrow down. Because if we just save the kids, it's just a temporary solution. This is a permanent solution. Start with Harrow. Harrow needs to die. I don't want any of the kids hurt or killed, but Harrow, that bastard has to pay for what he did to me. She stops as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, a newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you and there's a fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damn right it does. We're going to this Sean book? Sean book? Sean book. Pretty book. Strange. She nods. I'll see you there. Okay, so we've got Glory's Mish as well. I kind of want to do Ica's first, just because we unlocked it first, and that's the way I roll. So let's do it. What's that? Is that the one that leads to Glory's? Take the van to Harrow's compound. Optional, meet with Ica's contact. Let's go meet with Ica's contact. This game is so good. We're going to Divine Keller. And I remember where that was. So that's pretty good. It was over here. Because we found someone down there. We found Lucky down there. Was it Lucky that was down there? I think it was. Divine Keller. Who are we looking for? You? No. There's someone over there. That's Lucky Strike again. But there's someone over here. Aha! It's Iga and a dwarf. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iga through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soykaf. On the end of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Hoi, Iga. Been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keep him busy. You could say that. Slick, this is Bannock. He's a friend. The dwarf scoffs. Don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand. If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer. Where's he staying? Who's he working for? How long's he been in Shadowrun? Whatever you got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it in his mouth and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse. And of course, I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right, what you're looking for is at the northwest quadrant of Shatternest. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Kies has been held by Rambok. Not those assholes again. I've had a run-in with Rambok, yeah, we can handle. Wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bit it is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of a building. This warehouse right here is Rambok HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. Iger exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet, and they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambok. No good could come of that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. Look in the bag. Shrug, I'd kill them first. You can tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're going to find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I knew it was going to be an EMP pistol, basically. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at great personal expense from a Supermax prison in the UCAS. It traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favour. Iger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. I should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta Grade moved by a wire system. Oh, sorry, a Delta Grade. I thought there was some sort of fancy phrase that I wasn't aware of. Also, look at this guy's cheesy, shit-eating grin he's got there. Holy crap. Let's try that again. The engineer is rocking a Delta Grade moved by a wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews it thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. Sounds like we have a plan. Iger nods. Metal Gear. Sounds that way. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Okay. Interesting. Can we pet him? Good dog. Okay, we met with Iger's contact. Do I talk to Iger again here? No. Okay, back to base then. I guess. Either back to base or she's ready to go. I see oranges on the thing, yeah. Take the U-Bahn to Shatter Nest. Okay, let's fucking do it. We've got a bit more time. We can make our way to Shatter Nest. So it's just going to be me and Iger for this run. That's the main thing I'm worried about. Because this is literally just me and Iger. And Iger is not amazing, if we're honest. She's built pretty much like I am, just pure gun and run and gun. So yeah, this could be difficult. We don't have a lot of skills like magic and stuff, although I can strip armor, so there is that. Call Iger. Beep boop 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 boop. Hey, Iger, you coming with me? Going on a mission. Your guns are shit. She has some cool, sweet upgrades, though. She has some biotech as well. I don't know what that does. Must bring Iger, must bring the cyberware deactivator. Okay, hang on. How can I see? Oh, I see. Oh, I'm holding the fucking deactivator. Fine. Okay, and Iger's got some nades. Okay, fine. Well, we'll just have to make do, won't we? I reckon this is going to be probably the hardest mish. I reckon Glories will be fairly easy. This is going to be the hard one. Me and Glory are a good team. Shatter Nest. The Kia's next door to the Cruise Bazaar. Is Shatter Nest, is it literally just shit nest in German? The Kia's next door to the Cruise Bazaar and an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. The streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shatter Nest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors. With little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers, the Cruz Bazaar has successfully insulated itself from the chaos of its neighboring Kias. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped, and the F-State as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and I to make sure that happens. Ah, here we go. We can stash up. Fuck me. We need meds. Meds up the wazoo here. I'm gonna take a jolt as well. What are we wearing? Have we got good shit on? Light security armor. Grants 10 HP and armor 6. I think that's the best we've got, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Can't take her jacket off. It's good. She's got 7 armor though. Holy shit. Okay, let's give her another med kit. And that's it. That's all she's going to get. Oh, Jesus. Well, here we go. As you near the edge of the Cruz Bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stench of Shatternest crawls into your nostrils and sticks in the back of your throat. The dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping I'd put this place behind me. Yeah, I'm with you there. She wrinkles her nose. The funny thing is, a syndicate presence might actually help Shatternest. In the short term, at least. They'd clear up the streets if nothing else. Don't tell me you're changing your mind. Not for a second. A syndicate, any syndicate in Shatternest would be a disaster for the Cruz Bazaar. Let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their sake. Okay. Oh, it's that guy again. So this is the edge of our Kias then, isn't it? This is the edge of the Cruz Bazaar. And this is the crossover into this Shatternest. Trolls go home. It says trolls go home. No, it doesn't. Yeah, let me through. You again. Well, you ignored my warning last time and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle yourself. He sighs. Let him through, Sergey. Yes, Sergey. Fucking asshole, let me through. Ooh, there's a cardboard box. The cardboard box is filled with makeshift bedding. A homeless person must be using it to keep warm at night. Search the box. You find a basic, uncertified cred stick underneath the pillow. Take it? Wow, okay. Well, that happened. Where am I going? I'm pressing Alt. I'm not seeing anything. It must be this way. There's nothing on my map. I say map, I'm talking about this thing. What is this? Some free bliss. Send it to my stash. I'll take some free bliss that I found in a dumpster. Oh. Rambot gang up ahead. Maybe there's a way around. Oh, I see. Okay. There's a spirit spawn point. I suppose that's in case I'm a shaman. Wow, that would be fucking great. Okay. So those guys were blocking this. And there's another dude there. Am I okay to just walk through here? Some talkable dudes. I'll have a quick look over this direction. You know me, I love exploring. A motorcycle and a door panel. Huh. Interesting. The engine's still warm. Clothes on the tail clearly mark it as Rambok property. Okay. Okay. Getting a little bit of an idea of how we could sneak in. What's over here in this corner? Anything? Nothing. Okay, let's talk to some dudes. We'll talk to some dudes and then we'll call the ep, because it's getting on a bit. Lady. Hello, lady. I got pots and pans. You need pots and pans? I know, but some info would be nice. Yeah, sure I have. What's it to you? The woman looks up and eyes you up and down, clearly waiting for you to make an offer. Hand over 50 new yen. As soon as that we just found 50 new yen, not a big loss. Plus we're loaded at this point. She leans in for a whisper. They're just down the street in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through there ever since. What kind of product? That'll cost you extra, sweetie. Is it important? It might be. 25 new yen. Drugs, guns, the usual. Seems more like drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. No problem, honey. I got the best deals on pots and pans this side of Spandau. Do we need any pots and pans? How do we eat back at our place? Who cooks? I can imagine Blitz being the one that cooks for some reason. Or what's his face? Dietrich. What? What do you want? I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in Shatness is get your arse beat by gangs until you decide to join one. What gang are you in? I'm still in the former camp. I've heard what the Rambok do to Hayes' new members. I'll take getting pushed around every once in a while over that. I'm looking for some information, my friend. I bet you are. Seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone or looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambok won't be happy about you sticking your nose in a shattered nest. Alright, I'm leaving. Asshole. Okay. Drugs and guns. Warehouse with grass in front. That's got to be this one. So I'm thinking, try the door panel, jack the bike, do something with that. I don't know. Or just fight our way in. I mean, we could do this so many different ways. Well, 2 different ways. Try and sneak in or fighting. It's going to end up going loud anyway, isn't it? Because me and Iger, we're not the stealthy fucking type, really. We're all about guns and ammo. Boots and ass. So we'll probably end up fighting our way in. But we'll try. We'll try fiddling with the door panel next episode. But for now, I'm going to leave it there, guys. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.